All right, guys. I had some technical issues while executing on the Java program. So the problem was with my Maven object. It was not able to download all the dependencies that I have described in the pom.xml. So right now I'm using a different project. I switched my class to this project demo framework, and I have my hello world program, and now I will execute it. Run as Java application. Okay, yeah. So it is executed. You can see it has printed hello world, right? So this is the demonstration of a Java program, the first Java program, which is the hello world, right? So what we have done is we have created one main method. We have a print statement here where we are printing the hello world. So the main method has the keywords as public, static, void, and string arguments, right? So we have covered this. We have created our first Java program. We have explained all the Java keywords used in Hello World program. And now the next thing is what is a Java object and how we can create a Java object. And what are the different uses of the Java object? All right. Okay. So this is a main method. I will not touch this. Let's now create one another method, public void my method. I have created one another method which is of name my method, and it is a public method and its return type is void, means it will not return anything. Okay, and I what I will do, I will print something in it. Okay, I am printing inside it my method. So I have told you the shortcut to complete the print statement is SYSO and control space, right? I have created this method. Now I want to execute my main method, and I alongside the main method I also want to execute this my method. So one thing here to note is that uh, whenever we execute any Java method, the Java compiler will look for the main method. It will not look for any other method in the class. It can have a class can have n number of methods, but it will only look for the main method, and a class can only have one main method, right? So we can say that main method is the execution point of a Java class. So I want to execute my this method also, right? So for that what I have to do is I have to call this method inside my main method. And how can I do that? I can do that using the Java object with double slashes. You can create any comment inside a Java class. I am writing here create Java object. This is just a comment. Okay. So how can I create a Java object? First of all, I have to write name of the class, which is my Java class. Then you have to provide the object name. Okay, my object. I have given the name as my object is equals to new. New keyword is used for creating the object, and then you have to provide the constructor of the class, which is of the same name with class name along with the brackets. All right. So this is the syntax for creating the object. Class name, object name, new keyword, and the constructor. The constructor is nothing but the class name and the brackets. So constructor is always called whenever we create a object of the class. So my object is the object of the class, and we can use this object to call this method inside main method. Okay, let's try that. My object, the object name, dot. If I click dot, it is giving me different options which I can call here. So let's type the name of my method, which is my method. Okay, I have only typed my and it is showing me the option my method. I will select this. All right, this is it. So it has called my method inside the main method. So what will happen now if I'll execute my program now? Let's see. Run as Java application. Okay, see. So first it has executed the hello world which is written inside the main method, and then it has printed my method which is written inside the my method. So what has the Java compiler, how the execution has done? So first of all, the JVM looks for the main method, right? It executed the first statement hello world, then it went to the line number 10 where it created the object named my object of my class. Then it went on to this statement, line number 12, and what it does is it enters into the my method from here to here, and it executes this statement at line number 18, print it my method, and come back to this, and then the execution finished here. I hope you understand that. So we have called my method inside the main method using the object of the class. The same thing we can uh, also call the variables inside the main method using the object. I have created one variable which is of type string and its value is John. My object name is myobj. You do not have to create the objects again and again. If you have created one object, that is enough. You can use the same object for different purposes in the same class. Dot name. All right. So what I am doing here is, let me make one more comment calling my method, and here calling name variable. So I have given one print statement, and what I am doing here is inside that print statement I am using the same object dot name, the variable, right? And now I will execute. It will also print the value of the name variable. See, hello world, my method, and then John. All right. So let's take a look at the text listing, what we have, the theory given for it. So we often read in our textbooks, object is an instance of a class. So basically an object has all the information which a class has. So, whenever we create any object, it has all the information regarding the class. Like with this object, we can call any method which is present inside this class, or we can call any variable which is present inside this class. So that's why it's called that object is an instance of a class, right? This is the syntax of creating the object, which I have already shown you, right? So it is explaining that my class is class name and my object is the object name. New keyword is used for instantiates the object. My class is the constructor of my class, right? And what are the uses of Java object? We can call methods. I have already shown you how we can call methods by using the uh, Java object using the dot operator, right? Object name, dot operator, and then the method name. Similarly, we can call variables of a class by using object. Similarly, using the dot operator and name of the variable, right? The next topic is what is Java constructor. So I have already shown you that this is the Java constructor. What is it? I will show you. So Java is a special kind of Java constructor is a special kind of method in Java. It has the same name as that of the class name. These are some of the special features of Java constructor. It has the same name as that of a class name. Here you can see the name of the constructor is same as that of the class, right? This is the first property. It does not have any return type. So a Java constructor does not have any return type. Its syntax is similar to method. So if you would see here in this method, in this class, we do not have declared any constructor, but we can declare a constructor. We haven't declared this constructor, but this is a default constructor. So we have the option to declare or not to declare this constructor. If we do not declare any constructor inside a Java class, it uses the default constructor. A Java constructor cannot be static, final, or abstract. So these keywords cannot be used alongside the Java constructor. Class always have a default constructor whether you have declared it or not, but if you define a custom constructor, then default constructor is no longer in use. The same thing, we can either declare a constructor or opt not to declare it. So there are two types of constructors in Java: non-parameterized constructor and parameterized constructor. So here you can see the non-parameterized constructor. This is a class and this is the default constructor, my class. So it is, you can see it is similar to a method, right? Okay, let me give example here. If I have to create a constructor inside this class, then what I have to do is I have to write the name of the class and yeah. So you can say this is one of the default constructor of this class. It does not have any body. I can also give it a body. I can give any print statement inside it. This is constructor. Okay. So whenever I will create this object, this constructor will be called. So it means whenever the object of this class will be created, this statement will be printed. This is constructor, right? Because it will call this constructor every time. Okay, let's Let's execute this code now and see what is the difference. Okay, so it has executed hello world, and then it has, see, while creating the object, it is calling the default constructor and it is printing what is declared inside the constructor. So it has printed this is constructor, and then went on to print the statement which is written inside the my method, and then the value of the name variable, right? I hope you understand that. So this is the use of the constructor. So this is a default constructor. I will give you a example of the parameterized constructor also. So here you can see the example of the parameterized constructor. We have a class named my class. We have a variable int. We have a parameterized constructor. So in parameterized constructor, we give the parameters inside the constructor. We provide the parameters to a constructor. So we have provided a parameter which is of type int, integer, and the name of the integer is y. So here what we are doing, we are creating the object of the class inside the main method, and because this is a parameterized constructor, we are passing a parameter to the parameterized constructor which is 5. So we are passing value 5 to this integer y. So when we pass this at this line, when it will call my class constructor, the value of y will become 5. And when it goes to this statement, num is equals to y, num is the integer that we had declared at the beginning of the class. So the num is equals to y means here the num will become 5, and here we are printing the num variable, so it will print 5 here because it has become 5 here. Got it? So what I said, we have given the value 5 to int y, which then pass on to num, and num will become 5 here. That's why when this statement will be executed, it will print number 5 here. Okay, let's take one example. So I am converting this default constructor to parameterized constructor, right? String uh, str, okay, and let's remove the value of this string, and we will define the value of string name inside this parameterized constructor. Name is equals to str, right? This is the constructor we are calling here. So whatever value we will pass on to this constructor, to this statement, it will be passed on to this name variable. So let's say I want to pass the value Karthik. So what will happen? The Karthik will pass on to string, and then name will become Karthik here. And when we execute this, it will print the name Karthik. See, so this is the application of parameterized constructor. I hope you understand this. Thank you very much.